all good things come to an end. Now competing in E-history. One of the most dominant and popular factions in WWE superstars who once formed The Shield. Each competitor steps into his spotlight, vying for that brass ring. As these individuals, these three men are all their journey to SummerSlam. Witness the genesis of their ascent.
For all of their success,
Smart money in.
I am responsible. Believe that! It's the sheep.
Friends or enemies, we're gonna own
Coming for a war.
These guys.
A three-man SWAT team. Fighters. Mercenaries. Shield. Warriors.
We're carved into stone. We're forged out of iron.
Hounds of justice are upon us! This truly may be unstoppable.
and by notoriety as individuals.
Yield.
Their impact as a group is defined.
The Shield.
Seth Rollins does, I don't do.
Brought something different to the table.
Things
It was 3 stars that all brought.
every single one of them is known as a WWE superstar. Don't bring.
They each bring different
Things Roman Reigns brings, we don't. The things that I do, he doesn't do.
wrestlers to watch in the world. And Dean Ambrose is literally one of the most amazing, fun, neat qualities to the Shield. Like, Seth Rollins is the muscle. He was the guy who came in and you like, us in their lives. And Roman Reigns is most people don't understand because they've never had that real grittiness. Brings a certain grittiness that
The Shield standing tall!
they all added a different dynamic that made the Shield really cool. Wow, this guy's tough and you don't want to mess with him. And it
Showed teamwork like we did. The way we walked out to him, nobody's ever gone out there and really I think what really set us apart is our brother.
Believe in the Shield!
So many things that we showed camaraderie within. Rated together, how we lost together. They would just cheer for each other, we'd coach each other, how we celebrate together, how we perform together. We would.
They had this, I don't know if it was...
This is the future. Believe that.
Why is they thought they should have been here a long... They wouldn't be stopped. And the reason for this, that they couldn't be stopped, and there's arrogance, but this
Nothing anybody could do about it.
3 complete different guys.
Go out every night and be better than everybody else. And there was the same mindset, which was we were going to go.
long time ago.
We all had, we were relied upon to carry the show.
They destroyed pretty much everybody in their path that functioned really well as a unit.
Most destructive force I've ever seen come to WWE.
Being the new 4 horsemen.
It's one of the most powerful.
Supposed to be the workhorses, and we enjoyed that role. We enjoyed
Bots that we are.
But with any team, there's
Free as ever, and we're fortunate enough to be in this as young superstars. We're as hungry. Shield or not.
Chances anybody, and it wouldn't surprise anybody if he got the best. I see that in Seth Rollins. I think he has just as good an individual ego. Every single guy wants to prove that they're the track.
Then he can cash in anytime for it. Seth Rollins inside that briefcase as a con.
Case and won the Money in the Bank match tonight.
Ladder match. As Rollins revels in the glory, Seth Rollins has won the Money in the Bank
WWE World Title opportunity.
I am Mr. Money in the Bank. I'm in tomorrow.
has officially begun. If his golden briefcase, his journey
Is the evolution. Except for Hank. And everyone is watching because this super special for me, and it's kind of cliche, is when I actually the only moment that really, you know, my first Money in the Bank match went by real fast. So, you know what I That's, you dream about this. When I reached up and like was unhooking the briefcase. Now, from where I came from, it's super humbling. It's crazy, man. Where we're at now, where I'm at now. I was born May 28th, 1986, so it's pretty awesome. Super awesome, and it's, I'm ready for the pressure. A passion for it, and realized that it could about 14. I really started to develop. I probably wanted to be a professional wrestler when I was in Davenport, Iowa. WrestleMania as a fan, live experience, and WrestleMania 26 in Phoenix was actually my first to be something that I could make a career. I don't know, it just lit a fire under me. I just knew, watch Shawn Michaels' last match, I just had, it was my last. It was really inspiring just to
Sapolsky.
We were looking to fill the void of presenting
First came in, was booked by a man named Gabe.
for watching a WrestleMania.
Ring of Honor, when he first...
For whatever reason, that was gonna be the last time I was ever sitting in a crowd.
And so he kind of put him in a good position to sink or swim in someone. And he saw something in Seth. He had kind of that gift to see something in...
Very athletic and innovative professional wrestling. A few of my best buds to wrestle in front of Gabe down to Florida from Iowa, 22 hours in a car with I drove, and I didn't have the confidence in myself. There, the level of work was so high, and your deal with Ring of Honor. The first time, right there, he said, I'd like to offer you a 3 I had.
You know, he did the same thing in Ring of Honor that he...
Actualize what ability I thought fully at that point that I was gonna be able to act.
Right away, he was amazing. And that's, we instantly... He showed up, and then just tore it up. He did in the WWE, which is kind of take it by storm.
The opportunity that he was given, and
He's gonna be successful.
really, really awesome to watch.
We had chemistry, and instantly you knew this guy was...
Gabe Sapolsky, working with a Daniel Bryan. I had the 3 years that I spent there learning under Gabe. It was the greatest learning experience I think maybe I've ever.
To watch him flourish in Ring of Honor.
It was. And maybe he didn't think Seth was ready at that point. And I believe he wanted more of a say. Basically, the owner had no say in what was happening in the product. I wouldn't have traded that experience for anything. Was not having Seth as the face of the company immediately in some different directions, and I guess one of those directions, I don't know. But I was let go, and he went in.
Things that drives a lot of us who have been independent wrestlers. Time was right with Seth. I think one of the things, missed pulling the trigger when the time, and I think they kind of missed.
Is the better option, and I don't lose many matches where quitting. There are many days, many shows.
Is that we were just trying to become the best we could
in life. Realistically, the only reason I'm not doing the show, I mean, finding another path. I mean, just quitting the match or...
You don't just go to WWE, like, it's hard. In my head, I was thinking, like, well, it ain't that simple, is it? He just kind of said, like, I'm going to WWE, and...
And you keep doing it is because you love it. I kept trying to get a hold of him, and I couldn't get anything himself. Who was head of talent relations at the time, and working for them. I was talking with John Laurinaitis. I actually approached WWE about a contract. So if you got something for me, you might want to lay that on the table. I told him, I said, Johnny, look, I'm about to sign somewhere else, other contract. And I called him one last time. I'm back, I couldn't get anything back. And I was about to sign this to move down to Tampa and go to developmental. Back the next day, around noon, and he offered me a contract. Back the next day, sure enough, he was a man of his word. He called me now. It's just hanging out there, and I'm waiting, hoping he calls me.
Dean Ambrose arrived in the WWE via the independent. Like Seth Rollins.
Worked for WWE.
I was born in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Journey is a bit more unconventional. Independent circuit. However, Ambrose's...
I just say that I was raised by wolves. If people ask me pretty much in 1985, world of bad people, wrestling comes in. I was the one good person living in a world. I never thought I was a bad person. I just thought obsessed. Boxes of videotapes can win. I became, and it shows you this other world where a good guy And I just didn't know how to, everything I could, just building this encyclopedic knowledge, trading, old stuff, new stuff, just learn all the magazines. You start getting into, show at the Red Barn Flea Market and there on a telephone pole for an HWA shard. I saw a fly, new, that's it, a pro wrestling camp. And I instantly, bottom there's a little logo and it says Les Thatcher's main event in Cincinnati, Ohio. And on the back, at the very end, that's where I'm going. It was like a moment. It was like that's where I'm going. That's what I'm doing. Like it was meant to be. Like it was
this and do it well came through as well. Sometimes his self-assurance that I'm going to do was never in question, and his enthusiasm. His passion.
Running the ropes, taking falls, take 3 or 4 times a week. It was a really old school camp.
It was too much.
We trained
for more than you realize. He has not just his head experience, and he's maturing, and he keeps coming back
here for like a year.
When you see a guy that's got
hits and just getting the crap kicked out.
The first time I actually...
Magical, great time. Day you learn something new, and I worked my ass off.
But his heart and his soul in it as well.
It was really good, and I had never met him before. I thought, wow, main event in the middle of Ohio, and met Dean Ambrose. We wrestled probably a 15-minute.
Ended up working for a company called CZW. There's a certain point where you start going like, all right, I'm pretty good at this.
This guy's awesome.
We had to take it to another level.
That was the best form.
Out of the old ECW arena. When we stepped in there,
matches that really push the boundaries.
It was ran.
Whose specialty is, that's what created the buzz.
Dean is the...
I am as a person and really bring that out. For me to really get into who...
This guy's... There's something to him.
He has this...
Dean Ambrose, I remember watching and being like, this is a crazy man. He's just been known to do crazy stuff.
Good Lord!
At the level that anybody's ever seen, man. He's something special. Drive to just take it far and above any...
That's not something you can...
This crowd eating up with us.
It's an interview.
I said, this guy...
Realized what I could bring to the table as Sapolsky on his Dragon Gate show. Keep up for very long, and I started working for a guy named Gabe. I'm going to do in Dragon Gate USA the whole very fast or do a backflip, but when I'm done doing
nothing else than to just talk.
I can't run.
Guy is a real talent, and he needs to be on our show as a
performer and one of probably the most interesting characters.
Ass.
He's such an amazing performer.
The whole world is going to have to kiss my...
He got better. You think there is no method? It seemed like every time I saw him, he grew.
Chaos around myself, just for my own amusement.
Church you'll ever meet.
So I've created an endless circus of... I'm gonna carry this bag all around all the time with all this other method. Aren't we all such big freaking stars?
To his madness, and there's nothing but madness to his...
Took me aback, you know?
That Riggs just came with
incredible presence. I remember he really kind of...
He had this gold, all these accolades, all these belts, and they don't mean...
Gate USA. Dean Ambrose was contacted by following a successful run in Dragon.
The story of Dean Ambrose is something really cool. This man, he's the author. He's telling that story.
Videos online, and he was electric.
11.
I was being told about these.
A WWE official Joey Mercury in 2000.
The kid can really talk. He's got great personality. And he can talk. He says, John, I got a kid I want you to look at.
Former I'd seen probably in 10 years. And just totally captivating and the most interesting performance.
Signed with WWE. Whoa.
And I said, okay, let's hire him.
Holy crap, I just...
So bottom line is, I took a look at the tape of Dean.
The Championship Wrestling, a WWE training. Dean Ambrose reported to Florida.
No way.
My name's Ron.
That next IT superstar, developmental, is to nurture and produce the program at the time. The goal at WWE...
My father is Sika of the Wild Samoans. He's a Hall of Fame, May 25th, 1985. I'm Roman Reigns, and I was born in Pensacola, Florida. My chief, Peter Maivia, he's pretty much the head of the
bloodline.
Well, it all starts with
into greatness. Roman Reigns comes from a
gamer with the WWE.
Roman Reigns was born.
Wild Samoan, Sika, and Afa. The Onawai wrestling tree. My dad and uncle, those are the sons of Rikishi, which makes them my second cousin.
Me and Roman, we all grew up together.
From there, you have Yokozuna, Rikishi.
His dad wrestled. We all grew up watching wrestling, watching my dad watch athlete. In his blood, you know, he's the son of CK, he's a tremendous athlete. Roman has best.
I had a pretty good senior year, second team all three of us were linebackers on the same defense.
We all played high school football together.
Very gifted player. He wanted to be successful Roman when he was at Georgia Tech. Very smart player.
I to Georgia Tech.
I had the pleasure of coaching.
On state, and it was enough to get me a full.
That we're going to take any crap off of anybody, we're to keep the unit tight. And he brought a toughness to the group. That's for individual stats, but at the same time, he was able. But there was a presence about him that
Calvin Johnson, first team All-ACC my senior year, back Reggie Ball, and then our big-time wide receiver. Senior year, I was a team captain alongside of our quarterback.
The fans really loved the long hair, and he knew how to. He'd take that helmet off, you know, he's got that good hair. It drew people to him. He had a little charisma about him.
Minnesota Vikings, they ended up releasing me, and then I went undrafted to the middle.
Roman played on the field, and that's what fans appreciate. Flip it back, but it still came down.
For my daughter, me being, you know, that far away from football, or, you know, I wanted to be there. You know, I had to make a choice if I wanted to continue to pursue. Went to the CFL. I was kind of just floating for a little while. You know, in the end, I had to choose my daughter. I wanted to be there every day for me, and it weighed down a lot on my shoulders, but away from her, not making that great of money, it was rough. And yeah, I know I made the right choice. Doing the 9 to 5, I started working out. I started to
fail.
While I was
at this point, he could not. He was at a crossroads in his life, and
look, a great heritage, a good body, and I looked at him and I said, he's got a great look.
Do some training.
And when I first saw him and met him,
tried a lot of weight. My dad, Sika, you know, put me through. He knew that the best thing for me was to go down to Dad, making sure that I was completely ready.
And he can talk.
After a few talks with my
part of the WWE roster.
I looked at him and I said,
to Tampa and train and try to become
to FCW.
And he was willing to go.
WWE superstar. Everything you could ever want in a WWE. One day we're gonna hitch our wagon to that guy. You know, he's got.
Sitting there like an I could be halfway Laredo, but you gonna look at my shoulder or what? Peach!
Roman Reigns find themselves in prime position to take with SummerSlam mere weeks away. Dean Ambrose.
I don't know what he's doing. Now.
For these two, who came up together and bonded within. Grinding it out is nothing new. The next step up the competitive WWE ladder.
When you see Dean, no offense, Dean, but
a little rough back in the day.
In the WWE developmental system.
And perform, then you're like, no, this guy's not regular at all. Regular, which until you talk to him and then you see, he's not much to like. He almost looks.
Ambrose is about to blow the doors off about FCW and this industry, because Dean, I'll be ready to forget what you think you know.
He's out there.
As of right now.
Like me there.
Nobody knows what Dean am.
They had nothing. Nothing.
Everything.
Got down there and
he just lets it all go, and it shows, and it's that little bit of wildness in him, but he just lets it all.
To watch, as far as I'm concerned.
You know, everybody has
Rose's thinking. That's the absolute beauty.
Seth Rollins came to WWE, while Dean Ambrose brought a unique style to FCW.
And it helps in character building.
That right now.
Rollins, an unbelievable
I knew that I was better than everyone in developmental. I'm gonna say
full of in-ring ability and confidence.
If you have a successful independent career and you come into
Fights his body to win. Competitor, he's so willing to sacrifice
a sore thumb in the best of ways over the rest of the crew, you know, and they stood out with a big advantage to WWE talent development. You have
some much-needed attention.
For whatever.
Bringing WWE developmental and each other, Seth and Dean would develop a rivalry.
They went at it, face to face, tearing each other.
We just clicked. For a reason, it's just in the ring.
Doing what we did at FCW. I feel like me and Seth Rollins
They're apart, and because of that, became best friends.
World, because these guys are pretty good. At our developmental level, and maybe we need to be showing them. There's some really good guys and really good stuff going on. Started making people realize that, you know what?
Be the face of that brand. I wanted to prove when NXT launched, I wanted to.
For you tonight, but unorthodox, very tough, very physical.
I want this. But to Triple H and the brass in WWE, that look not just to the fans who I knew I could impress.
Young man, if I'm not mistaken.
Rollins, not Rollins.
No doubt about that. So what of a defiant?
Knows he's good and is willing to gamble on himself. That's one of those guys that I believe is good.
Had the wherewithal to move out of the way.
Conflicts over this, and he had it with the train. He and I had a lot of, even though he wasn't quite where he thought he was.
He did prove himself time and time again, down in.
I hear it from anybody else.
And I will say that.
Felt like he knew, and he wasn't gonna. He had it with the coaches. He just.
Wallace has Mahal up.
A viable superstar to bring up at some point. FCW and NXT as being.
Rollins hit it! Rollins with momentum! And tossed him into the turnbuckle. Rollins has built the winner of this bout. And Rollins has become the first NXT champion. Blackout. Rollins with the cover. Rollins just.
Rollins! Key champion!
I want to come up. When am I going to get my opportunity? And someone saying, Johnny, I'm the top guy down here. But like I told Seth many times, because he used to call me once.
Regress, and then he would have moments, and he would regress. Along the way, he would have moments, and then he would.
And I told him, hey, patience is a virtue.
Like me, we just seemed to butt heads, and maybe to WWE. There's one guy who really didn't land down here, and I knew what it took to get. I was still under the mindset that I was the man.
Have to get rid of what you believe got you here.
But that was Terry Taylor. Maybe it was because we're more alike than I thought. I didn't have what it took to be a top.
Which is the main roster.
And he thought that
Because what got you here won't get you there, but we speak English. And you think that if you keep speaking, I used with him is, I said, you speak French.
Basis in one way or another.
The old analogy
guy. And he made sure to let me know that on a daily basis.
And then finally, it came to a moment.
I was losing my mind a little bit down there, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't appreciate that, and I didn't take kindly to it.
Speaking French long enough, we're all gonna start speaking French. Or gotta go.
And we had a conversation.
Threw my hands up. I said, he's either gotta go with you, where he and Triple H had a big talk, because I threw.
And he, swore to me up and down that the first whiff I catch of this again, and we're done. This is it. So you changed today, and right there, of.
On the other hand, Rose's attitude was holding him back from the big stage.
Finally understood.
This young man just has a presence about him.
Roman Reigns was looking for a chance to hone his craft.
Even though I was with the best of the best, I thought I had a good opportunity to stand out.
Star quality. What an incredible specimen.
Games for me, and it made me really excited. Nobody knew what I had, so it was just a freshman. Seth and Dean were the very best in developmental. Next thing you know it, I'm breathing.
The WWE.
I'll just scratch and I'll claw and I'll fight, and then in the deep end. I may sink for a little while, but then if you throw me
The star in their midst. No. Roman Reigns, they know they have a potential. Mega Super officials know what they have when they see
Roman came in demanding to be.
And he picks it up like that. No one is more coachable than Roman Reigns.
He had something to accomplish. He wasn't going to go 8 girls that were in the system years before him. He taken, and he surpassed guys into a career and become one of the. Take that, parlay it in. He was going to learn what he needed to learn. 8 years in the independents. He wasn't going to go 10 years traveling the world.
By his absence.
I know it was very
Mark on NXT. Dean Ambrose was conspicuous. Although Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins had made a
biggest WWE superstars there ever was.
It was a long wait. I kept going, just put me on NXT if you're not going to put...
the whole process.
And it was like such a
very difficult time for him. He was very frustrated with the waiting.
You know, we talk a lot about it, and
You're ready to go and you have it, and everybody's telling you that, and then you're just sitting there. You know, there's nothing worse as a talent than feeling like you...
on TV, and so I was like a nothing.
but I was very confident in his skill. I think he's very confident in his skills. Don't worry, you know.
Ambrose and Reigns finally got the call to the...
He's just gonna go.
When Rollins...
And I knew as soon as they give him the opportunity.
What that system could do in the big level. Guys out of that system getting an opportunity to go show...
to squander their big break.
It was like 3
WWE main roster. They were not about...
And that comes back to having, you know, having that chip on you. Screw everybody. Screw the world. We all came in with that attitude of like, you can move worlds with that. Single-minded goal. I mean, powerful. When you get that many talented guys together with that shoulder. And, you know, that's power.
Dean had to overcome frustration of it not happening quicker, what he thought should happen. Seth had to overcome his attitude, something. And I think you put those 3 things together, knowing. They all overcame something. And Roman had to overcome
In Indianapolis, this is the... You are looking to pack Baker's Life Fieldhouse.
the Shield. Together with those 3 guys. And
we was in Indianapolis. Sure enough, we got to Survivor Series.
Survivor Series!
For the WWE Championship. It turned into something, a shield or a protective fort. It was a very simple concept at first where we pretty much just...
Match for the WWE! This is a triple threat!
You know, so much bigger. What it was, because at this point we're just chomping at the bit. I didn't care what it was, and I think the other 2 guys didn't care.
Championship! Marching around the wing with the champion! And then
Open just a crack so we can kick it open to get any little opportunity just for the door to...
The crowd, you know, I was so overwhelmed. Waiting in the Vom outside of the,
There's nothing to say, Punk now! Shell shot! Unstoppable! Ryback's unbelievable!
I was ready. We all were.
Ryback is...
Emotionally, it was nervous energy, but in a good way. Like,
These 3 guys just came... What is this? What is this? Who the? What is... Rushing through the crowd, they attack Ryback and...
For 3,
No way! What are these guys doing?
unprecedented.
As soon as we bombed them through the table.
An event pictured just like that, it's unprecedented. And insert themselves into the main salute unknowns that come out of NXT.
It's us against the world.
I'm set.
It's all about us now. There's no turning back. Well, I knew, like, oh, this is it. It's us or nothing.
Know about injustice? We don't just know it. I'm Dean Ambrose. What do we... Rollins.
Roman Reigns.
Not Paul Heyman, not the WWE champ. We don't work for anybody. Justice.
We've lived it.
Bring ladders, bring chairs. The Shield. At the TLC pay-per-view. Bring tables. Champion, we work for each other.
First match they ever give us is a 6-man tables lap. Seen us perform, really, and And the first
brings the sword.
We hadn't been in a match. They had
high right before we went out. Stress levels was just so.
There's a chairs match with Ryback and Team Hell No. Steal the show.
And then
deal for us. We're kind of expected to. It's not just a match on Raw. This is a big
TLC match. There's so many elements.
I mean, it's
Shield. And the reaction.
Screw it.
Sierra Hotel. India. Echo.
It's one point where we just went, you know what?
For their first ever match here at WWE, and its notion is for the trio as they get set.
I think it really kind of set the tone for what people would see. It really showcased something special, and I.
Normal matchup. It's tables, ladders, and chairs.
Given the opportunity to step up to the plate. They weren't wasting it.
All is on.
For the long run.
Here we go. And the. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me.
Like us against the world, and they took their shot. They weren't throwing it away. They approached it.
They're gonna go for a power bomb. Oh! Through the dominating Ambrose and Reigns. Oh, look. The Shield are absolutely done. Got him! The Shield have won. Reigns for the cover.
That was special, and we put the whole wrestling world on me I've ever had in my whole life. And I knew within 3 minutes the crowd and the atmosphere was as electric as any.
The Shield doesn't back down. Strike. We didn't back down in this world, and that's known when and where.
I noticed that we were here to stay.
Gotta have a brain to survive it.
Area. That is the Shield. They just keep getting out. The hysteria.
And people started to notice the Shield with the Shield moving up the ladder. The quality of the product improved.
Better and better and better.
Troy, top names in the business, watching them. It was incredible just for me personally to watch these guys.
Just opponents as well. Like any entertainment.
Talk it was something. You know, it was huge. Put the Undertaker through tables or triple powerbomb the Rock.
You become complacent. You become complacent, you'll fail.
The next crop that's coming up.
If you don't try.
Property, WWE is only as good as.
Yo, watch this. Dean Ambrose playing Kingston.
The juggernaut in sports entertainment.
Oh, here we go.
Been able to adapt to.
United States champion. Dean Ambrose wins gold. New champion. We're gonna have a new champion. Will Rollins and Reigns follow suit? Dean Ambrose. And turning Bryan inside out. The cover. Dana Bryan's got no help. Oh, later tonight with the tag team titles on the line. Gold.
Being tag team champions and Seth. WWE Hall of Famer along with his brother Alpha. Especially coming from my background, my dad being Rollins was a really cool accomplishment for me. First championship, I felt really cool about that. For me to be able to kind of notch that one out and that to be my very, them being multi-time tag team champions. So
champions, Reigns on your left, Rollins on your
as well.
Tag team.
That was something that I think my dad was very proud of.
Of individual accolades, their reputation, despite the Shield's rapidly growing.
Right, the United States champion Ambrose in the same. Put him in front of us and we'll put him out.
Gaining great momentum.
The Shield says the ending's the
as WWE's most cohesive unit was. I think that's why Roman will be extremely successful. And I think that's why they're all successful. And the three share that common thread of passion for.
Royal Rumble.
The Royal Rumble was awesome.
Welcome to the 27th annual.
And every time he started
about to make his presence known.
Awesome. I believe I came in at 15.
Roman Reigns fought by Reigns. And Kingston
came up. Oh, there's one gone.
And now Kingston
eliminating somebody, that confidence level.
Ziggler eliminated. Look at the other super.
Show what he could do, and he was just an offensive juggernaut. And he came out, really stepped out of the box.
Business card. So to do that, not ability to hold your own in there is your best.
Superstars are sort of watching this in shock.
Your ability.
3 more men, and 2 of them.
Way to put down your business card. And after tonight, especially on some pretty big stages, that's a good
record for eliminations in the Royal Rumble. While I was in there, I eliminated 12 people. I have the new.
Where's partners?
I don't know how many threw out. 13, 14 men, but...
Record for most eliminations in a Royal Rumble match. Roman Reigns with 12 eliminations tonight sets a new... And now it comes down to this. One of these two men are gonna...
Record-breaking.
I thought he was gonna win.
But damn, groundbreaking performance, man. The crowd, and you automatically hear him going for Roman, man. The final two with Dave Bautista. You know, you can hit...
Headline WrestleMania.
I made it all the way down to the...
Tonight he sets a record.
He's been here for a short time, but he was able to eliminate me.
Roman Reigns with a great effort.
Which is pretty cool. Fortunately for him...
Tossed him out if he had the opportunity. It was about going to other members of the Shield. Roman Reigns warned him that he would...
Made a huge impact.
And two of those eliminations were the other... WrestleMania.
As I've always stated from day one, was to be, and my ultimate goal, we'd gone as far as we could possibly go as a group, standard bearer, and it just wasn't gonna, to be the WWE champion, to be the very best, not one of the very best.
A plan B. There's always...
Happen, sharing the spotlight with two other guys.
The unit they created. Big, bold step for Seth. He betrayed.
Are you kidding me?
Oh
my God!
Everything in motion. I mean, it is to be the guy to kind of set.
He's assaulted Ambrose!
Coming to the limelight, step out of the shadows and do his own thing. Seth, I guess he wanted to...
What it is. I knew we needed to go in different directions.
You guys are on top of the world. Why in the world would... My God, Rollins is destroying Ambrose!
The talent, there's no other way. WWE superstar, if you believe in yourself and you have to step out of their comfort zone as the W...
Seth Rollins do this!
I'm setting out on my own. Proven. And that's what Seth said.
I moved on, and if you guys love Dean Ambrose and
Probably why he's successful, too. Unproven. I'm going this way.
thanking me every waking second. Yeah. Then you should be Roman Reigns as much as you say you do.
What did they do next?
Their success. And don't you forget it. Because I am responsible for all
Tighten in the trunk, and Ambrose now attacking Rollins. Oh God, Dean Ambrose is...
Ambrose, the crazy guy that just won't die.
What a Superman punch! Roman Reigns!
Smooth, cool hand Luke that is just a badass.
Oh!
Roman Reigns, just the mission that just didn't sell out, he bought in. Seth has this
standing tall!
Back it up. It ain't arrogance when you can...
He needs to become a WrestleMania to the main event. Seth Rollins stepped into where Seth Rollins stepped in.
He's gonna be the champion. When, I don't know.
If Seth Rollins can cash in at any point in time.
Main eventer.
Inside that briefcase, a contract.
I mean, telling me I'm the worst person on the planet. You got it in the bank and he's gonna win it. If you're yelling at me, cursing. Oh, exactly. But he's gonna win that title. He's gonna cash in that money. WWE World. You may very well be looking at the next. Put a smile on my face, so sorry.
Ambrose is, you can never figure him out. He just happens to be. What's authentic about Dean Ambrose?
What are you gonna do to me? What are you gonna do?
Let's go in. Establishment, and I think people admire that in him. Be anti-hero, he just happens to be against the...
See now is Dean Ambrose. It's not...
With him, and that's his strength.
The character you...
Ambrose!
You never know what to expect.
Hey! Dean Ambrose exploding...
Thing of, what do you expect him to do next? Something that's put on because he's always had that...
And I understand the reality of what is... I ain't crazy and I ain't stupid.
Out of that huge gift, and Ambrose attacking Rollins.
You know you can beat, but he don't care. A guy, the last guy you ever want to fight is a guy
It's gonna take to get to where I want to go.
Until they get hit in the mouth.
Dean Ambrose.
Everyone has a plan.
That's not scared of you. That's
versus all. Completely fine with that. Because it's one, and that makes me a wanted man around here, and I'm coming.
franchise player. If you made a model,
And a very gifted young man.
if you're looking for
Roman is a true powerhouse.
Spear to Kane!
I think
Superman punch!
I don't think about moves.
the model would be Roman Reigns.
Need
Well, as we've learned about Roman Reigns
to
recently,
make them hurt. What's gonna make them want? What's gonna make them think about reactions? What's gonna make them stand up and cheer?
What endorsement can I give Roman Reigns that everybody else has to give?
Has a breakout quality to him.
he does what he wants, what he wants.
Roman.
Nothing on this planet that will ever stop Roman Reigns, and that's Roman Reigns. Future Hall of Famer? Absolutely. There's only one thing already. Future champion? Absolutely.
It's an arms race, you know what I mean? See who can get to the top the fastest. We're all off and running. We're all off doing our own thing.
He's not going to stop himself.
Now
find themselves preparing for what will be a demanding Lamb approaches. The two former brothers in arms, the Ambrose and Rollins rivalry revving up as SummerSlam. With Mr. Money in the Bank pushes himself to the here at a training facility near Rollins' home state of I match on Sunday, August the 17th.
mobilizing, you know? You can't just come in here and some days it's agility, some days I'm just mind, body, spirit type of thing.
Absolute limit.
You gotta train your whole... It's not gonna help you succeed in this business. You know, get a bicep pump and call it a day. It's not gonna... CrossFit. How are you so accurate with all your kicks? They ask me, how you land on your feet all the time when you go flying over the top rope? People are, it's this crazy high you get. People talk about it like, when it comes to Dean Ambrose. That's the idea, it's the concept, and I gotta be ready for everything. CrossFit trains you for everything. Attack on your soul, times a million. It's like this, a runner's high and stuff. CrossFit high is like that, but that's the whole point. It's how, because it's just insane. Contemplate just thrown into her like every time you stop to rest, any one way to prepare for Ambrose. That's the, you know, there's really not, you gotta keep going no matter what. Being able to be home, be a part, and I still can't predict what he's gonna do 100% of the time. Thing. I mean, I know everything there is to know about Dean Ambrose in my career. Focused and ready for what's probably the biggest match. Part of this whole thing, by myself, get myself...
For the biggest fight of his career. Dean Ambrose prepares mentally and physically. 45 minutes outside the Las Vegas Strip. Task at hand, Seth Rollins. His mind of all the hype. And knuckle down on the tent. He escapes into the desolate Nevada desert to clear
News and appearances and all that, so it's nice to come out here. Plus, there's all kinds of media and interviews. That was SummerSlam, so close situations. Environment, and to get ready for inhospitable. It's an inhospitable environment. There's just nothing.
But he does things his own way. He's not.
It's a fight. I'm just gonna do what I've done every day of my life. It's real simple in the moral nexus.
And trying to make things right for himself. He's worried about, himself, not worried about what anyone thinks of him.
Seth Rollins needs to get his ass kicked of the universe.
Now, this is the most intriguing situation.
Only one will find it. As two former friends seek victory.
Better than Seth Rollins. Better than Dean Ambrose. And who knows Dean Ambrose? Because who knows Seth Rollins?
A lot of enemies together, Seth.
Better enemies.
We made a lot.
We are great friends, but much more.
They're apart at SummerSlam, Seth. I promise we will. Those enemies are gonna make sure that we tear each other. Those enemies are gonna make sure that ain't nobody running from
It's really a wild game of chance and Ambrose. This is Rollins who can get there fastest and further. A hate relationship between the two to see who can get higher. And I think there's a lot.
It'll be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it.
You know, they say...
And Rollins just moves around like a maniac, so it's gonna be... Ambrose brings that wild, crazy style, and...
These guys have that chemistry. And styles make rivalries. I 100% agree with that. Styles make fights, and in our business, style...
Dean is a lot of what they've already seen. Those guys are going to lay it all out. I think what fans can expect to see from Seth and...
I think that is going to be something to be remembered.
You know, SummerSlam 2014 was ours. And I'm going to do this and walk away from that show saying... And they're going to do everything they can to tear the house down.
Entertainment greatness. Both Orton and Randy Orton. Born into sports, Slam opponent is his greatest challenge to date.
Guys, going at it, and...
Storied legacies.
Well, you know, it's two second-generation guys.
Are looking to represent their family names and...
Very good match. This is the most... My friend Roman becoming the volcano. It's gonna be, once he gets inside of the ring, they both become very physical. Randy becomes the
legend killer. Randy got his big break in WWE as an intriguing matchup because Randy Orton, and now one could argue that Randy Orton eliminated legend after legend after legend. Randy Orton sought out, focused on and on.
There's no going around him. He's in.
Is looking to be the legend killer. Is the legend and Roman Reigns.
Two royal families just clash at SummerSlam, man. I'm just hungry for it. I think you're just gonna see two.
My way, so he's gotta go.
Roman Reigns.
For me to say that I beat Randy Orton, that's everything. For Randy Orton, everything's at stake. My whole career's at stake. So,
and I'm ready to get with it.
You know, in my match with Randy.
Summer cleaning, time for SummerSlam. Get rid of all this old junk. Oh, I gotta do all this.
Right now. Beetle.
Thank you.
Watch out now.
Oh, Roman, can you help me, please?
I got
you. That's not gonna work. Awesome summer cleaning.
Believe that.
That's what I call. Here.
And SummerSlam is hours away from commencing. Past 1 in the morning on August 17th. It's Half making his way down the runway. Running has arrived at LAX with Seth Rollins, the first WWE corporate jet career. A few hours of sleep before one of the biggest matches of his on fumes. The Money in the Bank winner hopes to catch it.
Goes as planned and everything goes well. Yeah. Favorite fall. I think it's gonna be pretty exciting actually. I think talked about it actually. My opinion, is any reason why it's not going to be the best match on the show, or at least the most fun.
Officially starts his day. Seth Rollins checks out of the hotel, and after a few fleeting hours of rest.
Let's see how that works.
It's something pretty special, something I'm proud of. To be where we're at this point. Slam, biggest show of the summer, second biggest show of the year, and
their very own private aircraft. And Roman Reigns arrived in the wee hours of the morning via like their former teammate, Dean Ambrose.
And I thought about this for a long time, so...
Reigns heads to the Staples Center.
I'm ready to go.
Getting in just a few hours of sleep as well.
7th annual SummerSlam! Welcome to the 20th!
It's just about going out there and performing.
The biggest event of the summer.
Nation. For Rollins, Ambrose, but continue their rapid ascent to the top of the organization. 3 former Shield members get set to not only entertain. SummerSlam is the stage where it's clear that WWE is preparing for tomorrow. Change over to a new corporate logo. It rains. Their rise coincides with the company's show the world that the future begins now. Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose are about to but on this night, after weeks of intense training.
So, you know, what we've done, singles pay-per-view match, in 2 years of the... This is actually like my first thing. We got something good going into tonight, and I'm really a couple of years, but especially the past couple of months, I feel like we got a... Over the past few months is something, you know, really over the past... Oh, terrible. Looking forward to kind of putting a button on it, I guess.
Time. Enjoy adrenaline takes over. Once a year, I'm from the sold-out Staples Center.
Stable. Dean Ambrose, of course, against Mr. Members. They call him the Lunatic Fringe, the Unclamp. It is a battle between two former Shield. Coming up next here on Summers. Here we go, guys. This has been Money in the Bank. Seth Rollins.
Weighing in at 225 pounds, and his opponent from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Building and building for months. Shots, and here we go. These former best friends. And Ambrose is licking his...
Dean Ambrose.
After one another.
The lumberjack match is meant to keep all the action.
Buddies who grew up in this industry together, now going out.
So, we're gonna announce A. So what's the last thing? Because you always gotta be thinking about, okay, the curveball, you throw him in the ring. So, the last thing people are gonna...
Taking out Rollins! Lumberjacks, look at this! Ambrose across the table!
You're gonna expect. B.
Wait, look at this! The WWE Universe!
There's something.
You're supposed to keep these guys in the ring. They're now fighting out.
It's difficult to learn or pick up people out there, and you can't teach that. Sometimes the passion that both of us have that connects with us. I feel like that's what's shown through the most.
Let's move! Beating him with his own finish. Dean Ambrose, curvestone! Oh my God! That's right!
Doesn't matter what kind of match it is, you know what I mean? You can really feel what we're doing out there, and that's off of everything tonight is people.
Briefcase to the face of Ambrose, and Rollins. Seth Rollins with the Money in the Bank. Rollins with a briefcase to the face. I'll tell you what happened. The architect of the takes advantage of this disarray out here.
99, right? So hopefully they got everything they bargained for, you know what I mean? 99. I feel like they were waiting for that one for a long time.
Shield, Seth Rollins just beat Dean Ambrose.
On the Viper, Randy Orton, in his first singles match at Roman Reigns gets a chance to make his mark, taking now.
You know, to make it so difficult for everybody else. For me, I'm looking to tear the house down. I'm looking
at a WWE special event.
On these people and you know, give them a match, best possible performance. Leave a huge impression on this card. I want to go out there and, like I said, just have the. So they'll never forget.
This may be the most.
So for me, it's all about a big win now. I'm all about pushing the bar higher.
Competitor.
You know, when you're going against a guy like...
Important matchup of Reigns' career up to this point as a single...
That type of performance out of a guy like that for 10, 12 years, you know. The crowd comes to expect Randy Orton, a multi-time world champion, a guy who's been around. So for me to step up...
Great move by Reigns! Roman Reigns with Randy Orton down at... Oh, great counter, Reigns, Samoa drop!
The play, I'm really proud of that.
Roman Reigns for the win! Spear! Now, Roman Reigns ahead of Steve, Spear!
First singles match in a pay-per-view, so it's just gonna get better. It's a long journey for me. I'm just starting out. This is just continues to get better and better, and just take better the next day and raising that bar. So hopefully better and better. I'm all about progression. I'm all about getting
the biggest win of Roman Reigns' statement match for Roman Reigns.
Get to the next level.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was an absolute...
Oftentimes, wins and losses.
Career thus far.
Roman Reigns. It's their ultra-competitive in the case of Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and Rollins account for everything. In highly entertaining matches at SummerSlam sent the fans home in WWE. Their huncher that has and will continue to propel their career. These three men want it all, wanting more, which is appropriate considering.
I would say that the future. Bright for the WWE. For the three of us as individuals, the future is bright for all three of us. And since the future is bright,
have equal success is impressive. So to see all three guys, without a future crop of superstars, there is no business.
Former Shield superstars. Hopefully we're at the I'd say the future for all three of the...
That's a good note for the future of this business.
Through our 3 WrestleMania main events, I see 3 guys
top fighting each other for years to come.
The goal from day one with the Shield was
not that far off in the future. And it's waiting to happen. And
we're gonna own the business. Whether we're friends or enemies, take over the business.